There's so many opportunities through degree apprenticeships, online learning, bite-sized courses, micro-credentials, boot camps, academies. Back when I was leaving school, the options were limited. The options are massive now. And what we need is the world of work to start to see, actually, we can get them in early. We can train them up the way we want. We can train them in-house. We can train them through different providers. But for young people, it's getting into work early, earning that skill, learning and earning. In this economy, it's the difference between leaving with debt or leaving with a degree and no debt. There are so many options. And I've met young people in the valleys that are upskilling through various micro-credential courses, that are, running side hustles through, self-taught through YouTube. There's incredible opportunities out there now. University is one route, but there's so many more. I have learned so much from young people. I've been studying Gen Z, but before that, I was working in education, so I was constantly learning about what helps my young people, helps them learn better. And what I've seen is this acceleration of this bite-size, on-demand generation. It's not just about what they consume, but it's how they engage, and it's their behaviour and how they learn. So it's about taking that constant available to learning. YouTube is the second largest search engine for a reason, because it's bite-sized, it's instant. And what I'm learning from Generation Z is these young people telling me they want to constantly learn. Learning's not this kind of historic, linear, one academic year in one kind of subject. It's actually, I want to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I'll pick it up as I go along and I'll drop it because I have access to all of it. We have people in industry making decisions, and we're still coming from the hierarchical kind of perspective. It's okay, we've always done it this way, so we'll continue doing it this way. And they're coming up against barriers then and blockages. But all you got to do is speak to young people, or speak to the people you're employing, speak to the people you're working with, what works best for you. And I think that takes away the barriers. So what we got to understand from young people, if I take you on a bit of a journey, we got, Gen Alpha now, who are entering primary school, who are used to trying to turn TV over with a swipe. They are the swipe generation, the touch generation. One of the things I'm really excited about in the future of work is not necessarily the work itself, but the environment. So we've got Gen Z who have grown up on their devices. The next generation of employees are coming in bite-sized, ready to learn, wanting to pick up new skills, actively doing that in their own time. And I think that's such a crucial kind of mindset that we can really embrace and get out of their way and allow them to continue to do that in the world of work. And we know that hybrid working, remote working was coming anyway. The pandemic has just accelerated that. So it benefits Gen Z, and it's something they've already kind of aspired to do. Not everybody, I don't want to generalise, but the Gen Z I speak to, young people I speak to, are quite excited at the possibility of being remote, not having a 9 to 5. It suits their bite-sized, on-demand kind of lifestyle.
So within my organisation at iungo, we found that younger people coming into our organisation, digital natives, whilst they were very familiar with using collaboration tools, they couldn't actually use Excel particularly well. So as part of our onboarding process, we had to provide specific training around using Excel and developing Excel formulas. For our more mature individuals within the workforce, it was actually those collaboration tools that they struggled with. So I can think of a specific example where somebody would only upload their work when it was completely finished. And that was a real frustration for the sort of digital leaders who were saying, well, you need to create the file from within Google Workspace, and everybody needs to be able to see it, and everybody needs to be able to kind of contribute to it. And that was a real culture shock for this particular individual, because they were concerned about being criticised for not producing a finished product. So we sort of came to a compromise with that, where this person would develop the documentation from within the drive, but would put a PDF version in once it was completed. And so I think that really helped to bridge that generational gap within the organisation, and to respect the sort of the cultural clash, if you like, of the digital natives and the more mature workers that we've got. It's quite straightforward to teach people how to use digital tools, but using them effectively for collaboration is sometimes a little bit more challenging. So I think it's really important to educate people around digital workflows and moving away from sort of single siloed roles within an organisation where a person is responsible for a particular function and that's what they do and not doing anything else, to actually moving to a model where we've got more of a sort of fluid organism type structure where we are using the brain power of different people within our organisation to contribute to building something better than any one of us could do individually. And that's really the power of digital and the power of digital collaboration tools.
The skills and digital transformation coming from the next generation are already amazing. The next generation already teaches us about how to use social media, how to embrace new technologies and use them without going on, in my day, it might have been a 6-month training course. Now it's download an app and start using it and make amazing things happen. Digital transformation at that level is great. But what we would also like to see from people coming into an employment situation is that the tools that are used, the office tools, the document tools, the spreadsheet tools, the collaboration tools, that the time is taken by the new employees to really dig into those and learn them really well, because they're key on a day-to-day basis for productivity. So maybe the new generation, they have this amazing ability to take on new things and learn cool gadgets really quickly for the benefit of the company. But there's an underlying level of detail on day-to-day tools that shouldn't be forgotten, and it's hard work to learn them.
So the different demographics that you've got within the organisation are always going to be present, and whichever generation that you are focusing on, there are theories that different people bring different ways of working, but they really group all of these people. Millennials act in a certain way, Gen Z act in a certain way, and I think the reality is that it comes, for me, back to your values and behaviours as an organisation and what you're trying to achieve. It comes back to the purpose of the business. And if you're really clear on the purpose of the business and who you are, your values and your behaviours, they should be adaptable to whichever generation that's entering the workforce. Now, I guess the challenge that you do have with hybrid and remote working is different people at different times of their lives may be either more or less comfortable with technology. So it's making sure that you're understanding and having the conversations on the way in with those individuals about those skills and understanding what we can do to support the development of those skills through training and onboarding processes. For those that are coming into their career for their first time, the challenge is that they will be sat at their home potentially on their first day. They won't have people surrounding them. They won't have a clear list of to-dos or training or guidance, which they might have done had they been in the office. And they don't pick up on the anecdotal conversations and learning that you just absorb when you are in an office environment. So some of the things that we've had to do is be really, really clear around how we have started documenting all of our processes, procedures, how to, in little nuggets, little breakdown aspects of information where people can pull on that as and when they need it. And so you've got a directory of information where people can obtain what they need, when they need to obtain it, via a technology system to enable that they've got the skills, the needs, the requirements to do their role, but of course that they can always call on people in and around them through a buddy scheme or through kind of their people team if they need someone to call on just to ask any additional questions over and above what's documented.